Okay, this video here is for my friend Eileen. Eileen was an environmentalist here in this local community, and she did a lot for the environment and for the local estuary that is out there, bird sanctuary. And the baby dog is at it again. Yes, and there is nothing I can do about it. Okay, I'm just gonna let him tear. I'm just gonna let him tear up that. You have to have something to sacrifice sometimes, you know, a cardboard box here and there. So he's gonna slash the whole cardboard box now, and so at least that will keep him busy so that he doesn't turn the internet off in the corner or step on my other computers. They need exercise. They have so much energy. They need to hike for 10 miles per day in the wilderness out there. And there are not very many people that will offer hiking like that for long distances. I don't see very many people doing that for their dogs. So yeah, but anyway, us included, you know, so we're not. Paul takes him out to the cemetery every day, and he walks around, and that's a big cemetery, and it's quite a walk, but yeah, it's not even the round walk, it's not even a mile. But whatever, that's better than not walking. Any exercise is better than no body movements. Okay, so I let him shred up the box. I'm making a video right now. I'm not gonna turn that off again. I can't constantly turn the video off because there are some issues going on in the living room. So I'm not gonna turn this off now. But no, I've been wanting to make this video for Eileen because we bought this house here from her. That was her house for many years. She never moved in here. Her sister lived here for a while, and she had other people live here, renters, and they completely wrecked the house. They caused a lot of problems. They caused way more problems than the house had when she first bought it. She made a lot of money on selling us the house. She made over $90,000 profit, because when she bought the house, she got the house for a very, very low price. When she sold it to us, the real estate market was pretty much at the highest height, but we needed to get a home. We needed to move out of the motorhome, get a house. So yeah, we had to pay a very, very high price. So, but now the real estate prices have gone up since then, and hopefully once we sell this house, we will get more money for it. Also, Paul has put a lot of work into it. The original walls were very, very dark brown, probably old growth redwood. This house was built in 1930. That was before they had this mass logging going on, and they had some kind of like a gloss type of wallpaper from 1930, nailed on top of the redwood logs, which I think is really distasteful. So, but the way the redwood logs were in the wall, they were kind of hammered in, kind of looked more rough. It wasn't like really fine crafts or anything. It was pretty much all hammered and nailed in. But I mean, still they have put there's some kind of stucco thing in. This is also from 1930. That we did a bad job painting this, but yeah, overall the house has really high quality in terms of the way they made it. So it's pretty high quality compared to how most homes are built by contractors really, really fast, skipping corners, and that's what they did with the other house. And the other house was built in 1983. So, and they cut corners everywhere, and the walls are hollow, there's no insulation and all of that. It rains in, big issues. There's issues with mold and raining and for both houses, okay? Both houses are really fixer-uppers, as they call them. So, yeah, Paul put a lot of work in. I assisted a lot of work. And it still rains in over there by the window and in the washroom. And it rains in a lot in the washroom at the other house also. So there are bats that live in the crawl spaces in the attic. And Paul wanted to seal this all off. And I fought him tooth and nail on that. I said, the bats have babies hanging on the ceiling. They're nursing, and all of this is like a bat nursery in that crawl space in the attic. Okay, it is. I don't even want to see how that looks. You know, it's probably full of literally bat shit. It's bat shit crazy. So I also heard birds once in a while go in there and walk around in all of those crawl spaces. So, but in the washroom it leaks in very heavily, but it's gotten better. And Paul was wondering why it's gotten better, because he hadn't done anything on that recently. He had tried for years to seal that, didn't work. But he wanted to board all of this off in the attic, and I said, no way. The bats, they have their nursery there, you have to leave that open. They have to be able to go in and out at night. So he left that open, and I'm so glad he did, because I could never have him seal that off. So that'd be a horror thought to think that some bats would be trapped in there, or mothers and babies would be separated. That's really the worst nightmare for me there is in the whole world. That's why I'm so against the dairy industry, because they tear the baby calves away from the mothers, and the baby and the mother scream in terror. I mean, it's a horror. Okay. And so that's why I quit drinking milk. That's why I quit dairy products. The cardboard box is being slashed. So, yeah. So he left it open, and then it's gotten better with the leaking. And he couldn't explain it, and I said, maybe the bats have caked all of that up with their bad shit, crazy bad shit. So it functions like a glue, and that prevents the rain from leaking, and so that's pretty nice. But the other day we had a big storm, and when a rainstorm comes from a certain direction, then it gets through some of those openings that are on the side, right under that crawl space on the side of the house. And it leaked in again, and he always permanently has a large Tupper container in there to catch the water. So, and the ceiling has a huge mold stain, and the wallpaper with the acrylic paint is cracking and soft and flaking off and all of that. So no, we don't have like super great remodeled homes and 2 homes, you must be rich. No, we are not. Those are fixer-uppers, those are investment properties, hoping that they will give us enough money for our final retirement. Okay, so that's what we're hoping. There's nothing luxurious going on. Okay, so my artwork is luxurious. It also gives insulation that wasn't here before, and at the other house too. So I'm gonna just plaster the walls with my styrofoam packaging material artwork and hope that maybe that will retain the heat better. And that's why we also installed these old rag sheets on 3 different, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, on 3 different door frames at this house, because it gives really great heat retention, and you never have to open or close a door again, which was very annoying in the past. And in order to get through or let your dog or cat through, so that you don't have to do that if you hang an old bed sheet up. And then the animal can go through unobstructedly, go into the garage. We have to always have the side door in the garage open. And yeah, when there's a rainstorm, it storms water in it. Baby dog, no, Elon! No, absolutely not. No, he's climbing up on that Tupper container now, and I have my Earth globe inflatable ball there. I don't want him puncturing that. No, you cannot climb up there. That's absolutely not accepted. Not accepted. So, yeah, once he's finished with the cardboard box, he'll want to damage more stuff. And that's what's going on. But yeah, so we bought this house here from Eileen in 2007. Okay, before we got Kenny, our Great Dane. We still had, or I think, I don't know, 2007 or 2006. I think in 2006 we bought the house. Summer 2006, I think that's when we bought this house. And we still had Samantha, our Harlequin Great Dane girl. She was a quarter Labrador and very, very smart. Okay, and I am very, 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 very sad that I have deleted my very first YouTube channel, which was called Nicola 2, written in a written word. Oh man, I should not have done that. I guess I felt embarrassed about my videos. I should not have deleted that, because that would be so nice to watch that now. I wonder if YouTube archives old accounts with all the videos on it. I wonder if they do. So I wished I could bring that account back to life and watch my old videos with girl. Oh yeah, I miss her. So yeah, And we were friends with Eileen at that time, working with Eileen for the local stewardship group and volunteer work for the bird estuary. Eileen was a very petite little birdie kind of girl, and the relationship with her boyfriend was not well. And they both suffered. I think she suffered more than he did. And I feel infinitely sorry for her for that. And I've been wanting to make this video for her because I think about her. I think about you, Eileen. You did a lot for the environment, and I thank you for that. Okay. You did a lot of work going against the developers, which caused you to be hated by the community. It's horrific. And I even heard people say that they wish her death. And I immediately stood up for her and said to those people, what a horrible thing to say. Whether they agree with someone's lifestyle or their activism or not. And it wasn't very long after that when I heard people talk like this. It was like a year later when Eileen died from breast cancer. Horrific. It's horrific. But Eileen didn't do what my friend Birgit did. My friend Birgit, out of despair, my friend Birgit had, and they looked very, very similar to each other. My friend Birgit in Germany was terrified, and she listened to the pharma industry, she listened to medical industry, and she let them scare her into chemotherapy and all of these procedures, and because of that it didn't get better, it just got worse. Then because of that she developed bone cancer, and she had to wear these narcotic patches on her back for time released narcotic substances through the skin into her body because of the pain that she was in, because just leaning against her lightly would break her shoulder bone. Unbelievable. One time I was leaning over to say something in her ear just lightly, and I could hear it crack inside of her shoulder. That's how bad it was. Oh my gosh, we were so worried for her, and we felt so incredibly sad for Birgit. And she went through all this. I was back in Germany. We sat for each other. I met her in LA at the Primal Training and Treatment Center by Dr. Arthur Janov. Birgit was also from northern Germany. Her grandchildren were there. She wanted to go back to be with them. And so when I went back to study psychology at the university, then came back to my parents, then every time I came back during school breaks and stuff, Birgit and I would be sitting for each other in her primal room. She had a primal room in her apartment with soundproof padding and everything. And that was really the most amazing time of all. I mean, it was just so amazing to be with Birgit and to sit for each other and listen. And she would go through all stages: presence, childhood, birth, childhood, presence. You know, she'd get into it with the pain in the present, go all the way through. And yet, that didn't save her. You know, she had bad relationships that left her very abandoned and abused and used. And she always said those are breadcrumbs of attention, but she would stick to it, she would not leave. She would accept all of that, and she would not stand up for herself. And I always said to her, you need to stand up for yourself. It's very important. I even made her an artwork with teeth showing, the blue god showing teeth. I said, you need to show your teeth more often. That was when she was with Rainer in the very end of her life. That was probably the coldest, most callous man she has ever been with. And they were living on Sylt. It's an island off the northern coast of Germany. And he totally exploited her for everything. And so that's when she got very sick. And I told her to do Dr. Scholz's package, Dr. Scholz, herbdoc.com. Dr. Scholz says he has these holistic, all-natural cure packages. Rainer bought her one, and that was it. He never bought any more. Just the one package got her almost cancer-free. Can you imagine? And Rainer just refused to buy more. She was totally dependent on him. He refused. And I said, I was already back here by that time. We were in the motorhome. And I was talking to her out there at that storage facility that we were doing night guard shift. I was out there in that storage facility park, walking around with the mobile phone, talking to Birgit in Germany, all the way in Germany. And but back then we paid a lot of money for those conversations. And it was that was important for me. And I said, Birgit, you need to, if Rainer doesn't buy these packages for you anymore from Dr. Scholz, then you can do that on your own. You have to go fully raw food. You have to do it. You can't eat anything else anymore. You have to go fully raw food. You have to make juice blends in the blender every day with raw food. Every day. You need to put garlic in it. You need to do it. You need to take charge of it. And then she said to me, then should I risk dying? And when she said that, I knew that she wasn't believing in her own healing ability. She wasn't believing in the earth presence that the earth is giving us. She was believing the so-called gods in white, the physicians who have absolutely no clue about healing. Okay, it's a mafia over the counter. It's an over-counter mafia for the medical industry. That's all it is. She believed them. She did more of these horror things and all kinds of horror things, chemotherapy and radiation treatments. And she told me how horrible it was. They treated her like a number. They were ice cold to that beautiful, amazing, my beautiful, amazing friend Birgie. That's a horror. And I couldn't help her. She didn't believe. She didn't believe in holistic. She believed in it, but she thought she couldn't do that on her own without the cure packages from Dr. Scholz. And it was after that last conversation that we had I had self-published a book and wrote about my friend Birgit in there. She was still there, and I sent her one of the copies. I had it printed. I paid a lot of money for that. I had it printed, like 30 copies or something. I never sold anything. I just made that for my family, basically. Sort of like, more like a photo album, sort of. And Birgit, she said, she read the book, she looked at the photos, full of photos, and she said, it felt like I was right there with her. And that made me feel like very close to her. It made me feel like really good that I sent her that book, that self-published book. In that book I was talking about my tried therapy and what happened after that, so all these different stages in my life, and all of our dogs that we had, and the withdrawal from the pharma drugs, and all of that is in that book. And at least my friend Birgit, she was the only one who liked the book. Okay, my parents didn't like it, of course, because there's criticism against my parents in it. And the other people were kind of bewildered by it, to say the least. Yeah. But Birgit was right there with me. Okay, she felt everything. She knew this was true, what I'm saying. She observed my mother. She saw that I was going on my mother's nerves, so she saw all of that. She was the only one who really... And Annalise saw it too, but not to that extent that Birgit saw it. So I felt very close to Birgit. We were very close. Birgit was a great mother for me, about 22 years older than me, and her two daughters are my age. And I miss her. I miss you, Birgit. Yeah. And then Eileen died after Birgit. Birgit died in 2008, and then Eileen... No, wait a minute. Yeah, and then Eileen died in... forgot now. 2015, I think. Somewhere around there. And then Barbara died. Barbara died in 2018, I think. Yeah, I miss all three of them. But yeah. I wanted to use the title Video for Eileen because I've been wanting to make a video for her. I made videos for the other ones also before. I'm gonna make a video for a woman named Michelle. That'll be my next video. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. And I'll talk about that entire thing. That woman I didn't know, but that's a story that I came across yesterday. And that lady's dead too. And so 4 dead women that I deeply appreciate. So I love every one of you infinitely much. And each one of you is precious. Okay, each one of you has given their best to make the best out of your life, out of this existence. Okay. You have made it. That's how I see it. You have made it. You've made it through this. Okay, you made it through. I deeply appreciate you, Barbara. You're like a second mother. You always have been. Okay, I grew up with Barbara. I deeply appreciate Birgit, Bergie, my friend from LA. who moved back to Germany was Anneliese. I deeply appreciate Anneliese. Anneliese is also not here anymore. Anneliese died in 2016, before Barbara. Anneliese was very old. Anneliese was in her 90s. The other ones were not. The other ones died long before they were old. So, and that lady Michelle died young, at 50, at 60. I can't even think clearly if you talk to me right now. I can't. You cannot talk to me when I'm making a video. My brain is already overloaded. Michelle died at 46. So when someone talks to me, I'm guaranteed to reverse numbers or reverse things. So it's already difficult for me to focus right now because I'm very heartbroken over Danny being called to me. But like I said before, it is what it is. So it is. We have to try to make the best of our lives, and that's what I'm trying. I'm trying. I really am trying. I'm trying to make the best out of my life. With a fogged brain and a lot of pain, a lot of emotional pain and suffering, I try to make the best out of my life. I really do. I give the best I can. I really, really give the best I can. My artwork is saving my life. My dog is saving my life, and Paul is too. Okay, so Paul is my nurse, and he's helping me a lot, and I'm very overwhelmed right now. I appreciate you, Eileen. I appreciate you, Anneliese, my child therapist. I don't know if I'd even made it to 57 if I didn't have Anneliese as a child therapist. So, I don't know. I probably would have drowned myself in vodka, which I have for a while. But my inner voice said, this isn't going anywhere. So you want to live your life or you don't. So I decided I want to live my life and make the best out of it. So I quit. Quit all of this at 24. Those are not options. Okay. Substances are not options for you. It's not an option. A substance that is toxic is a slow suicide, and a gruesome one that is, a real bad one. No, that's not for me. If I want suicide, I want to make that as quick and pleasant as possible. Bullet to my head sounds like the best plan. So it really does. But it takes enormous guts to do that. So anyone who says, what a coward, they cap out of life. No. They're not cowards. They are suffering so bad that they are willing to override their biological built-in need for survival. That's how bad they suffer. So just to put this into perspective for anyone who still doesn't really know anything about being suicidal or what that does to people. It's hell. I've been there many times. I'm trying to make the best out of my life. I don't want a hater in my life. I don't want to be abused anymore. I'm very vulnerable and highly sensitive. I need to be around people that treat me well, that treat me with eye-level respect, which I give to them as well. I make artwork. write things sometimes on the internet. I'm not singing very often. I like to sing when I feel good. That doesn't happen very often because every day I suffer with mental illness, with sadness, deep, profound sadness. And then a hater comes along and wants me to send nudes in a mental state like that, where I need someone to say nice things to me. I need someone to listen. I need someone to talk to me for hours every day in writing or video form. That's what I need. And someone who listens to everything without pleasuring himself while I'm talking. That's what I need. But I haven't found that person. I haven't found someone like this who is actually single. I'm not going to take someone away from anyone else, wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever there was. I'm not judging anyone, but if you're with someone, I support you with that. Yeah, I'm not breaking anyone up. What I need is a real friend, a single man who's a real friend to me. And only from that can anything develop. Any kind of romance comes out of real friendship. Friend zoned first. That's the foundation. Okay, it's the foundation. No matter what I feel for someone, whether I'm attracted to that person or not, friendship, okay, that's the foundation for my life. And then maybe later on, maybe something comes out of it. Maybe not. I don't know. Otherwise, I can't trust people. I can't. There's no way. Eileen was, like Birgit, in a bad relationship. Barbara was in a very unhappy relationship with my dad. And Elise was in a very unhappy relationship with her husband, but that's not her husband's fault. There's nobody to blame other than mental illness, suffering, pain. And that Michelle, I will talk about it either tomorrow or in the next days. So that's really something. What I saw yesterday was that Michelle. No, that's when I saw that and I saw her husband, I connected the dots. So, but anyway, I'm gonna leave the video now. Take care. Peace and love.